Today we're going to recap the week that was and preview number 6 Oklahoma versus number 11 Texas after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Now let's run down the week 6 that was, starting with what did not happen. Alabama decided that playing a game this week didn't really fit into its schedule, which doesn't make it much different from Tennessee or UCLA for the past 2 years. While no reports surfaced that Clemson has used its bye week to build a funeral pyre fit for the 9-figure buyout headed Willie Taggart's way, can you really prove the Tigers are doing anything but after getting torched for a 1-point win against a guy who would rather catch an Uber than stay until the game is finished? Okay, so story, because I'll bet you forgot that even happened. And it did. In the year of our Lord, 2016, while still on his studio analyst hustle at ESPN, Mac Brown left BYU Toledo with the game still in the balance. His play-by-play guy, Adam Amin, actually asked him if he would like to stay through the fourth quarter while still on air. He, of course, declined, and BYU beat Toledo 55-53 in a game that had 9 lead changes, 1,278 yards of offense, and finished at 2:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And we've still been writing jokes about it ever since. Could have been worse. Mac Brown's coaching acumen could have been insulted in an Uber by his Uber driver, which also is a thing that actually happened. Georgia showed up to Neyland expecting to play a football game and were met by a crazed former Bama coordinator in a high orange dentist smock, sacrificing a child as tribute at quarterback. And that almost worked. Tennessee led 14-10 in the second quarter before the Dogs dispatched the Vols with 33 unanswered points, 43-14, which makes this the 22nd straight loss Tennessee has suffered against a ranked team. And please don't cough at me because I don't want to catch whatever the hell it is you have, Tennessee. Good news is Bama is the only ranked opponent left on Tennessee's schedule, and Phil Fulmer can't wait to take this gig. Again, Ohio State beat Michigan State to death with its nuts. J.K. Dobbins rushed for 172 yards, and Ohio State put up over 500 yards of offense against a Spartan team that looked like it should have just given Xerxes the earth and water he asked for and kept it moving. With the dismantling of Michigan State, Ohio State is 27-5 versus ranked teams and won 11 straight since the start of the 2012 season. Their last loss to a ranked opponent? Baker Mayfield and the number 5 ranked Oklahoma Sooners in 2017. Which reminds me, Buckeyes fans, rent is due on the 1st and it's late on the 2nd. How's my man's flag plant doing? LSU poured the entire 55-gallon drum of butt whoop all over to Utah State. Joe Burrow's 5 touchdown passes in the game moves him to 4th all-time at LSU with 38 passing touchdowns. The Tigers held the ball for 41 minutes. Congratulations, LSU. You look tall enough to ride this college football playoff ride. Wisconsin spanked Kent State 48-0, and that is as close to beating Nick Saban as they're ever going to get. Junior running back Jonathan Taylor carried the rock 19 times for 186 yards. That's 9.8 yards per carry, and 4 touchdowns, adding 3 catches for 29 yards and 1 touchdown reception. He's the first to score 5 TDs for Wisconsin in a game since Melvin Gordon did so versus Bowling Green on September 20th, 2014. Now, change his position to QB so he can be taken seriously as a Heisman contender. Oklahoma had Kansas singing, "What is love? Jalen, you hurts me. Don't hurts me. No more." And he didn't. He hasn't played a full game at all. He gave you 3rd and goal from the 48. What more could he do except invite Snoop to perform at halftime and bring back Mangino? With the W against KU, Oklahoma won its 22nd consecutive true road game, which means the Sooners have not lost a true road game in 5 years, October 4, 2014. For perspective, 5 years ago, I used YouTube exclusively to watch cat videos. Now I'm doing this. Auburn got exposed like 35mm film. Florida is off to its first 6-0 start since the 2015 season. This is UF's first win against Auburn since 2002, and I'm sure Auburn is reaching for the all-time series record stat like a bunch of angry Texas fans after the 2018 Big 12 championship. Notre Dame actually made their fans pay money to watch them play Bowling Green State. For the first time in Notre Dame history, an Irish team recorded 6 touchdown passes in 2 games during the same season. With 52 total points, it marked the second time this season the Irish recorded at least 50 points. The last time Notre Dame reached that plateau in multiple games was 1996. Florida pushed Gus Malzahn one loss closer to a buyout the Barners seem to think they want him to take. Arkansas fans can't wait, and we'll say thank you. You could say Texas took West Virginia's musket and beat the ears to death with it, but the more accurate shot is Austin Kendall was an errant shot with it. See what I did there? He threw as many interceptions as Sam Ehlinger scored touchdowns, or twice as many as Jalen Hurts has thrown all year. The Longhorns' 4 interceptions marked the first time that UT has picked off 4 passes in a game since the Horns did so at Kansas on September 27th, 2014. That's 64 games. With its win against Purdue, Penn State now occupies that space once secured by Auburn as that undefeated Power 5 team we trust least of all. The Nittany Lions have won their last 11 games against Big Ten West opponents. Penn State's last loss to a West Division opponent was at Northwestern in 2015. The win marked James Franklin's 50th at Penn State. He is now 50-21, 71 games in 6 years at the helm of the Nittany Lions. Franklin is the second fastest coach to 50 wins in Penn State history, trailing only Joe Paterno, who had 50 wins in his first 61 games as the head coach of the Nittany Lions. Iowa, fumble, punt, fumble, interception, field goal, punt, interception, punt, 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 punt. Oregon has held 4 consecutive opponents to single digits in points for the first time since 1960, but the Ducks still can't do much to change our minds because you lost to Auburn. And you're in timeout until you beat a top 25 program. Now go back to the Pac-12 and think about what you've done. Washington made sure we no longer think of them as good enough to beat an SEC team because they literally lost to a tree. The Cardinal extended their home winning streak to 6 games, dating back to 2007 against Washington, which is a year after I graduated high school. And I'm here now. See what I did there? Stanford running back Cam Scarlett rushed for a career high 151 yards with a touchdown in that upset. Ain't no Christian McCaffrey. Boise State still isn't one. Utah is basking in the glow of a Power 5 defensive coordinator getting fired after its discovery of the forward pass. Central Florida lost to a team that failed to score a single point against Ohio State, but would swear they can hang in there with the Big Ten. Yeah, okay, sure. Michigan, punt, field goal, touchdown, interception, punt, punt, punt. Turnover on downs, punt, punt, missed field goal, punt, punt. There were more punts in the Michigan versus Iowa game than there were points scored. Arizona State has us actually considering what kind of mystical powers a Sun Devil has. Thank you, Mike Leach. Oklahoma State doesn't know what to do with its hands when it's ranked, though Chuba Hubbard does. He's rushed for nearly 1,100 yards in 6 games and is the first Cowboy to accomplish that feat since, yes, Barry Sanders in 1988. Wake Forest might actually be as tough as a Jumanji jungle or as soft as a well-manicured meadow. It's the ACC. We really just don't know. The Virginia Cavaliers look like the kind of team that is going to show up with a big rock behind its back, challenge you to a game of playing Viking Quidditch, and bring you with the rock. Good luck not getting Michael Crabtree for your chain, Miami. SMU threw up all over itself and then rallied, puked and rallied, thanks to a college kicker who hurt himself kicking the friggin' ball. The Ponies are 6-0 for the first time since the Reagan administration. Texas A&M's day trading away what's left of its look at who we played stock, but they get Bama on Saturday where Jimbo Fisher is going to once again rob the budding CEOs College Station. Now, Michigan State has shuffled its offensive staff but still can't find an offensive scheme fit for a top 10 beating. Yes, Rutgers has given up 110 points in this last 2 games, but they also scored 7. Baylor's undefeated. Charlie Brewer's the best NFL prospect in this Podunk Conference. Waco Matt rules. Drink Kool-Aid or Dr. Pepper. Khalil Tate and Jet Duffy both threw for over 400 yards. And Pitt and Duke got drunk on the trash can punch for a combined 10 turnovers in their trash affair. This is the first Saturday in October, and I love it. As we head into OU Texas week, here's a fun fact from Texas beat writer Anwar Richardson. Oklahoma's 5-0, but the combined record for its opponents this season is 10-17. OU has only faced one team with a winning record, Texas Tech. The combined record for Texas' opponents is 16-11. Texas 4-1. 4 of those wins are against teams with a winning record. In the immortal words of Rhett Butler, Anwar, frankly, my dear, I just don't give a damn. Now, Big Ron and I are going to preview number 6 Oklahoma versus number 11 Texas after I tell you about MyBookie. I would only recommend service to my listeners that's proven. That's why MyBookie is always the right play. You bet, you win, they pay. MyBookie lets you bet on which college coaches will get fired, who will make the college football playoff, and win the Heisman Trophy. You can even bet on halftime lines, live odds, or FBS versus FCS games, SEC fans. Up to $1,000 for your first deposit bonus. Double your first deposit. Use the promo code RJ, it's my name, to activate the offer. Visit MyBookie online today. That's MyBookie. And don't forget to use the promo code RJ. Again, my name, RJ. When creating your account to claim your bonus. Bet, win, get paid. All right. Now let's talk about OU Texas. All right, so I'm going to run through some questions right quick that I got about both Oklahoma and Texas with the homie Big Ron. And the first one is, what did I write down? Who is the better quarterback, Jalen Hurts or Sam Ehlinger? What you got, Ron?
I think I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts right now. I think that if we are doing some sort of draft profile, I think Erlinger is probably going to be a better pro. But Jalen Hurts right now is putting up better numbers in a system that suits him better.
Yeah, he's got like over 2,200 yards through 5 games.
Yep. Throws
pretty decent.
A lot of balls over the mountains. I'm telling you.
I don't know about all that.
But he's doing a lot of good work. This is not to say that Ehlinger is bad. Like when we're talking about if Jalen Hurts is better than Ehlinger, it's minimal shades of gray.
I think they both have tremendous star quality. I think Jalen Hurts is getting everything that he should get for sitting behind Tua Tagovailoa last year, and it wasn't like he didn't play, but he certainly didn't start, and he certainly wasn't into the conversation about winning the Heisman Trophy like he is now. What I find fascinating is this schism about whether or not Lincoln Riley fixed Jalen Hurts or Dan Enos fixed Jalen Hurts before he got to Lincoln Riley. And now that he's in this system, he's thriving in a different way because he's being asked to be much more open about how he sees football and be willing to trust his wide receivers and trust the running backs to do what they do, while also doing that thing that we love to see him do so much, which is lead with a no-nonsense kind of swagger where you can wear an orange tie to an OU post-game presser and really not catch hell about it. Ehlinger, on the other hand, I like the cat. Mm-hmm. He has fun. Mm-hmm. He knows how to ride with it. Like, I asked him on my radio show, yo, man, how you feel about Hard G? I'm fine with it. I like it. Really? Yeah, it's my name. It's got the Hard G, doesn't it? My man. Mm-hmm. Right on. Nah, I can get with that.
He has a good attitude. He makes the game a lot easier for the people that play around him.
Which is that not the job of a quarterback?
It is.
Isn't that like the description?
You wish your quarterback had skills like him.
Ooh. I think these are both really good college football quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
I also think that neither one of them gets drafted before the 3rd round.
Probably true.
Okay. Just, I know that's just going to make somebody upset. I'm going to catch hell in the comments for that, but I don't see a world-beating quarterback playing in this rivalry game. However, I do see 2 outstanding quarterbacks and perfect fits for their teams right now at present. All right. So, next question. Who has the better defense, Texas or Oklahoma?
I think Texas has a better defense right now. They are a much better team at stopping the run. And they punish people by making them pass. So
by making them pass?
By making them pass.
Unpack that.
Well, so right now they are allowing 3.4 yards per carry on defense. It's pretty good. They're very stout. So if you know that you can't run on them, you run into like the West Virginia situation. Hopefully your quarterback's better than Austin Kendall and won't give up three picks. But 4, excuse me. I left one at home, excuse me. 4 picks. that exemplifies what Texas.
One to a linebacker.
That exemplifies what Texas does on defense.
All right, so to your point about Austin Kendall, I would be remiss if I did not tell you. Did you know that Lincoln Riley said with a straight face that Austin Kendall has to take a lot away from competing neck and neck with the Heisman Trophy winner during preseason game?
Oh, did he say that now?
He did say that, and he stood by that. In the same press conference where he was more or less courting Jalen Hurts by saying everybody, just not being inside the walls, I got to tell you, everybody needs a guy like that on their team. And, I'm really, really impressed by him. I really think he's an outstanding guy. And the whole time it's all, Oklahoma, just let me know. Because 3 weeks later, guess where he was enrolled for school? Love college football. We claim that nothing happens and everything is above board. Do we not?
We say that.
Okay. Did you hear about this rush courtship that took place over phone calls
No.
and a one in-person meeting?
Talk more.
That was really hush-hush.
Let me know about this.
Man, it was a lot of fun. And all the scuttle that was coming into my phone was, yo, man, do you know that y'all probably going to end up with Jalen Hurts? And I was like, stop it. And this is like December. And my man Brandon Drum was way out in front because as early as like late November, he's like, so I think Jalen Hurts is going to end up at Oklahoma. It's like, there's no way. And then what had happened? I just, okay. So that said, right, the other comparison that has been made is that Ehlinger is just Jalen Hurts or Jalen Hurts is just Ehlinger. It's just if one had the same amount of, players and playmakers around them, because you have to say this about Jalen Hurts. He's Dak Prescott in that you surround him with tools, he should be able to build. However, like Dak Prescott against Green Bay, he is capable of throwing you out of the game. He hasn't, but he's capable of doing it. And by the way, so is Sam Ehlinger. But basically, since the Maryland game last year, he's been remarkably good at taking care of the football. I mean, I know he threw an interception against West Virginia, but for the most part, with all they ask him to do in this spread, he's been really good at taking care of the football. And Hertz has a tendency to, fumble the ball when he doesn't throw it to the other team.
We don't talk about that.
Okay, we don't talk about that. All right. Well, to the point about the defense, my punchback, if you can even be called that, about how they can punish you with forcing you to throw the ball is that, well, Joe Burrow threw for 471 yards, so it wasn't that much of a punishment. And number two to that is Oklahoma, if nothing else, is nasty on defense. And I enjoy that they are nasty on defense. They have 452 yards of penalties through 5 games, 41 total penalties. And the penalties are all after the snap for the most part. They're all defensive holding, they're roughing the passer, they're DPI, there's a couple OPIs in there, there's some extracurriculars, unsportsmanlike conduct that they picked up. In the Kansas game alone, there were 2 of these that I really enjoyed. One was true freshman cornerback Jaden Davis actually threw a punch at a wide receiver who threw one back. Mm-hmm. And the other one was Marquise Hayes doing the classic lineman thing of blocking your man into the ground, laying over the top of him flat, and then twisting his helmet around so that the helmet either snapped off, as it did, or his head snaps off.
So you say these are good penalties, right?
To which Lincoln Riley says, hey, I will not coach aggression out of my players. We're going to have to learn how to be better about the penalties. And yes, we have to be a little bit more disciplined, but I would much rather have them making these sorts of penalties than not. Because his thing is, I tell you what, why don't you add up the records of the least penalized teams in college football, and then you tell me what they look like, all right? To which I'm going, prison rules. I'm down with prison rules in the Red River Rivalry. Let's get it. Let's get nasty. Let's take it back to the 1980s when we were eye gouging with the tearaway jerseys. No?
No, absolutely. This is an idea that I was kicking around earlier today, that the amount of penalties that OU's been picking up haven't been the penalties that hurt them. They're all the penalties of passion and playing hard and maybe a little bit past the whistle. You would definitely want to get rid of a little bit of false starts and offsides. Yeah, absolutely. But those don't hurt them. Anytime you start a series with a first down, you're still doing pretty good.
You know what, Ron? I really like this Vontaze Perfect. I think this Jonathan Abrams is really going to help this team.
No, I didn't. I do not.
No, I just did.
I'm not part of that.
That's what we're looking for. I'm not in the dream skies. I'm in the nightmares. Okay. I got this crude face down. Do I have it? No?
Yeah, no, it's
okay.
nice.
Okay, all right. Moving on. Is Cameron Dicker going to decide this game?
No.
No? Because he decided the last one.
No, he's not.
It was 45 up and Dicker the kicker.
No,
Okay.
I think that goes well. Spoilers on how I feel this game's going to go.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. But I don't think that he's going to be the. I don't think he's going to be the game changer this go around.
Okay. Is Gabe Burkich going to decide this game? Because the news here, Texas fans, is Oklahoma's place kicker being investigated for Title IX violations because, well, public intoxication arrest. So the way that this reads is he got drunk, he got stupid about how he was acting with his girlfriend, witnesses saw it, there was conversation, he's been indefinitely suspended, and doesn't look like he might play football at all this year. Now, the Title IX investigation goes on for about 90 days. They got to come up with something, and at the end of those 90 days, we'll figure out what we know. But for this particular game, you got what is essentially the backup place kicker. So, hence the question about kickers. I got a punting monologue that I'm really excited about writing. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay. I was
By the way, if you like the monologue, let me know in the comments. If you didn't, keep it to yourself. Nobody needs the negative energy, okay? How vital is it going to be for OU to have Adrian Ely and Eric Swinson play against the Texas defensive line? Adrian Ely and Eric Swinson are starting offensive tackles for Oklahoma, and the backstory here is Oklahoma has played with 5 different starting offensive lines through 5 games. It's very clear that Bill Bedenbaugh's preferred offensive line is Eric Swinson at left tackle, Marquise Hayes at left guard, Creed Humphrey at center, Tyrese Robinson at right guard, and Adrian Ely at right tackle. But against the Kansas game, what we saw was they suck at tackle. No disrespect, it's just what it was. Because you started R.J. Proctor at left tackle, who played left guard at Virginia in his grad transfer, and you probably know he plays left guard and left tackle. Started left tackle. Got a little issue with holding, a little issue with penalties, but, whatever. And then at left guard, you get to keep Marquise Hayes when he was healthy, right? Creed Humphrey, stalwart. Could be a first-round draft pick. Absolutely outstanding center. Right guard, you started Bray Walker against Kansas. We all like Bray Walker. Bray Walker's a 5-star player coming out of Oklahoma. He will be outstanding. I thought he was going to play tackle, but him playing guard is something new. And then at right guard, you moved out Tyrese Robinson. So you essentially had 2 guards playing tackle. And that ain't what they do.
Bedenbaugh has expressed many times over the past season or so how important it is for you to have chemistry in your offensive line. You can't just have talent and size alone. So if you keep switching it up, all the plays that you want to run, they start to fall apart whenever you introduce new people in new positions.
Particularly pass pro was a problem. But to your point, one of the things that he has said is it's rare, but you do have a guy that might be more talented than the rest of the guys playing, but that 5 play better than him as part of those 5, which is how I can see Eric Swinson starting at left tackle, because there have been some standing bets among some people who will not be named who threatened to shave their heads if Eric Swinson started a game at left tackle. I expect their hair is still growing back. No word. I didn't make that bet. I'm Samson. All right, so I think that you would prefer to have that starting offensive line, and I think one of the things that Lincoln has said is we could have made that dude go, but we just didn't want to force it. And against Kansas, you can understand. Against Texas, you might want to force it, Lincoln. Because I think it's going to matter, because Keandre Coburn is that dude in the middle. We'll get to that in a second. As a matter of fact, we'll get to that now. Who will have the better game at nose guard, Keandre Coburn or Neville Gallimore?
I think Neville Gallimore might be able to do it this game. I think he might be able to show out if what West Virginia did against Texas is any sort of indication. Gallimore might have a bell cow day. He might be putting up a lot of stats. You might be hearing his name a lot.
Neville Gallimore has been playing the most outstanding football of his entire career this season. His redshirt senior year has been his coming out party, and I think it's particularly because this defensive scheme is defensive line friendly. It's one gap. You're asking Gallimore no longer to occupy both the center and a guard. You're just saying, split them. Go kill somebody. And that is exactly what he's been doing. And he's just much more developed than Keandre Coburn. It's not that Coburn isn't Ed Oliver light or large, depending on how you want to look at it. It's that Neville Gallimore is just ready and raring, and he is, as we say in soccer, in form. That's why I would pick Neville Gallimore, right, as opposed to Coburn. I think Coburn is going to be great, and I think he's a big reason as to why you're holding teams to 3.4 yards per carry. But I'm going to take a 4-down lineman front versus a 3-down lineman front every single day of the week and twice on Sunday. So the next question was, who has the better secondary, OU or Texas?
It's OU.
He said it. I didn't say it.
OU has a better secondary than Texas. Texas secondary, they are all very young, and they can all be beasted relatively easy. So not to say that OU's is perfect, but CeeDee Lamb, your boy Rambo, they might be eating today.
Jaden Hazelwood, Nick Basquin, Grant Calcaterra, Liam Morris, Braden Willis. I mean, we can keep going, but we won't. Look, I'm going to go with Oklahoma simply because they're healthy, all right? You get to keep your same starting 5 back there that you played with the entire way. Brendan Radley-Hiles, Parnell Motley, Trey Brown, Patrick Fields, Delarian Turner-Yell. Yes, I know Oklahoma is weak through the safeties, and if you get Delarian Turner-Yell matched up against Devin Duvernay, it's going to be a long damn day, okay? LJ Humphrey was eaten last year. I expect Devin Duvernay will do the same because the safety problems are still the same. But as long as you don't have a Mark Jackson type lined up in the slot on a running back, I think you'll be okay. And even that, they were nearly able to overcome. By the way, shout out to Mike Stoops, who got fired after this game.
Happy anniversary, FireMikeStoops.com.
Okay. Also, the other thing about this is that while Texas's DBs were good, C. Toddy was also playing for Texas, which is what I love. C. Toddy, catch the ones that throw on you. Okay? That is what Deshaun Jameson did. That's what B.J. Foster did. Not taking anything away, just saying that's what they did. And Joseph Asai is that dude in the middle. I just think that you would rather have had your starting DBs than not. That's why I'm giving OU the edge. All right, now we're getting into last 2 things. First one, what's your score prediction?
I would going to say something like 45-35.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I haven't looked at the line for this game yet on purpose. I will put it into the headline as I do most things. But I'm going to go 31-27.
Ooh, okay.
Oklahoma.
Game sounds dramatic.
Yeah, it's a Red River Rivalry.
Stay tuned to the fourth quarter.
And finally, bonus question, Ron, who wins a celebrity death match, Tom Herman or Lincoln Riley?
Oh, I don't know. These 2 cats are such nerds. This is more like Edison versus Tesla, while Lincoln Riley is Tesla building all these machines that could benefit mankind, but keeps them locked in the basement. And you got Tom Herman over there electrocuting elephants. It's a draw to me. They are 2 evil geniuses that might kill each other. Who knows?
Oh, no, man. All I think Lincoln Riley has to do is walk into the middle of the ring and drop these singles on the ground and say, you want to stay here and fight? You want to go do your thing? Win by TKO. All right. That is going to do it for us. Thank you so much, Ron Taylor, who has helped me.
Thank you for having me.
Helps me every single week. It's like I look forward to it. It's a lot of fun. I get to do this with my best friend, which is the dream. All right. That's it for me. Deuces.